What's up, guys? Diego Perez from SoCal Disc Golf. We're here in La Mirada. We're gonna play the Golden State layout. Special guest here, Santi from Disc Golf Guadalajara. And yeah, we're about to crush it. Let's get after it.
All right, hole one here, Golden State layout. We have a par 4 teeing off on hole 1 Lakeside's pad. We're playing to hole 2's basket. There's OB right, the sidewalk, and OB this gutter, and to the left early, but that shouldn't come into play. 2-shot hole, you want to throw a drive. You can throw a big hyzer or a straight shot, trying to bite off a little bit more distance, and then you'll have a little shot into the basket, either a backhand hyzer or a forehand.
All right, what's up, guys? It's Raul back from SoCal Disc Golf. Obviously, I did the hole breakdown for this hole, and we're going to be doing the hole breakdowns for most of the holes here. So I'm going to be commentating on some different shots other than kind of the hole breakdowns. But for hole 1, like I said, we're going to be shooting to hole 2's basket. So there's really 2 routes. You can throw this wide hyzer and put yourself, somewhere on this hillside, or you can throw kind of the straight flexing shot like I did to try to get a little more distance. Either way, the upshot's not too bad. Diego has a pretty straight shot, but just throws it a little bit too low and hits the hill. Santi tries to throw a little turnover and just kind of fades out a little bit early. And then I have a pretty simple hyzer line. I just throw that, ends up right up by the basket. So I'll have a tap-in birdie to start my round. Diego barely misses hitting the cage there. So does Santi. So they'll have tap-in par is not bad.
Tap-in par. We're in hole 2 now in the Golden State layout. It's a little shorty. It's only like 210.
Alright, so this one I think is a little longer than 210. I think it's like 230, 240 or so. But either way, I just throw a little forehand hyzer with the zone. I put it a little bit too wide so it hits low on the hill. And I'll have a long uphill putt. Santi throws a jawbreaker zone and flips that up perfectly just to crest the top of the hill and slide up to the basket. And Diego gets a little unlucky hitting that tree there. Barely misses his putt again, hits the chains. I go a little bit long, make the comebacker for par. Santi taps in the birdie.
All right, we're on hole 3 here. We got a long par 4. You want to get through this tree line and past it as far up the hill as possible. Roller's a good play, or just a big low air shot. And then once you get up the hill, it's probably about 250 feet further back into the left corner. So you get up the hill and then you throw another big shot to the back corner to get your birdie.
Hole 3, like I said, pretty long par 4. You need a really good drive to have a chance at the birdie. So Santi throws the hyzer line, does throw a pretty good drive, so he'll have a look to get up and down for birdie. I'm trying to go roller. I end up throwing that way wider than I wanted to. But it does hold that cut line and get past the trees, but I'm way on the right, so I have a pretty big shot to get up and down for the bird. And Diego throws this inside hyzer flip line that flips up perfectly and gets a little left, kind of by that tree, but he'll have a pretty good line to the basket. Santi throws his upshot a little bit low, so it comes up a little bit short. Should be a relatively easy up for the par there. And then Diego goes forehand. I think throws just not enough disc, so ends up a little bit short. He should be able to get up and down for the par 2. And then I'm trying to throw a flex shot more so through the trees, and I pull it just going up the hill. So I'll have a longer jump putt for par. Woo! Diego throws his upshot, gets up there. Santi throws his and comes up a little bit short, so he'll have a putt. And then mine was right in that range where it's a long jump putt or just a weirdly short throw. So I jump putt it and end up a little bit left. Santi's putt goes long OB for par. So he'll be tapping in, I think, a double bogey, and I make my long putt there for the par. This one we did not have a hole breakdown for. just because it was so noisy by the street there. So you're throwing a big turnover shot to what's normally hole 9's basket. So it's either a big turnover shot around these trees or you can throw through them, but it's a little bit riskier. And then you'll have a downhill throw, probably around 300 feet or so, if it's a better shot than what we threw. Diego probably had like 450 or so, and my disc's right there. I think I have 390 or so to the basket, so I'm just trying to throw a wide forehand so I don't go OB right, and it just hits that tree right there. So I'll have another upshot to get up and down for my par. Santi throws a good looking upshot, but it was a little bit low, so I think it gets caught up in the ground there. And then Diego's shot for par, I think it just hangs a little wide and never really fades back. Santi throws a perfect upshot to get up and down for his par. Heart. It's mine for par. Throw the NV. Just put a little too much juice on that thing, so it goes long and ends up skipping on the path just straight. So I'll have a putt for the bogey to get up and down for bogey. And I do clean that up, so I just take the 5 there.
Alright, hole 5, we got another par 4, shooting up the hill here. You want to get like a hyzer flip and get up to the flat ground above the hill, and then you'll have another shot into the basket, maybe 250 feet or so.
So this is actually a safari hole that we kind of made up just so that way we could get to the tee pad, the next tee pad, kind of while playing. Usually it does go to hole 10's basket, the basket that we're teeing off from, but it's in a shorter, kind of easier position. So we just wanted to kind of make up our own par 4. So we're throwing up the hill, and I'm going to be throwing to the basket kind of just straight from where the hill is. Santi's trying to throw a forehand roller, which actually was on a pretty good line because it's by those trees in the back there, but it does hit an early tree. I do have a weird footing, but I'm trying to throw like a flat line with the Athena, and it comes out on a little bit too much anhyzer, but it will be a long putt.
A little bit overthrown?
For the birdie. And Diego has a pretty good look at it. He throws it. I think it comes up a little bit short, so he'll have an outside look for birdie as well. Here's Santi getting up and down for par. And just hits the only tree to miss right in front of the basket, so he'll have a long look for the birdie. Diego misses, or his par. Diego misses his birdie putt. Santi misses his par putt a little bit high. And I miss my birdie putt a little bit low. So Santi's getting the bogey there, and me and Diego will be tapping in our pars.
Alright, we got another par 4. You want to push it straight past this Mando on the left-hand side. Get a skip left, and then the basket is in those 4 palm trees over there. So you want to throw one straight shot that skips left, and then you're going to have another hyzer around these big trees to get to the basket.
So you want to throw it straight here with something that skips left. And I don't know why I decided to throw a boss, because the hill does drop down kind of fast past these last trees, and I just pushed it way too straight before getting left. I probably should have thrown a Firebird or something that got more left rather than straight. Santi does that good, and I think Diego goes a little bit too straight as well, so me and him are going to have weird up shots. I have kind of a flexing shot here, and I throw that just how I wanted to, but it was a little bit too high, so I hit that tree and kicked down. Diego throws what looks like is a good hyzer, but then hits that tree and rolls back a little bit, so we'll have some more up shots. Diego's throwing big hyzer up the hill here, skips up to the basket. Pretty good shot there. Here's Santi's shot for the bird. Throws that perfectly with the prototype Athena. Great shot there. Here's my up shot for par. Just a little hyzer off the side of the hill. The footing was a little bit weird, but I was able to just throw a hyzer and get it up there. So, me and Diego tapping our pars, and Santi gets a good birdie on this one.
Nice birdie, Santi. Enséñales.
All right, so this one's a par 5. We're shooting down the hill, still through the double mandos. You want to get out past the tree line. Then you have your second shot up to the tee pad that's normally hole 16. And then one more shot over to hole 16's basket, all the way over there.
Should
on
be
a hill.
way over there.
Par 5, 3-shot hole.
So this hole is not too hard. It just requires a good tee shot. And Santi throws the tee shot absolutely perfectly. Perfect hyzer flip. Skips down to the normal basket location. I throw a MD3, kind of throw it into the ground, gets a good forward skip, kicks off the tree. So, I mean, that's fine. You just want to give yourself something in play that you'll have your second shot going towards the basket. So Diego hits the tree early, but throws a good second shot, so he'll still have the opportunity to throw his third up there for birdie. I'm trying to just throw a forehand up by the hole 16's tee pad to give myself a look for birdie. I go a little bit long, end up on the hill. I'll have some weird footing, but definitely a shot at the birdie. So here's Santi's second shot, and he ends up hitting that tree way early, so he'll have a look at birdie, but a long one. Santi's shot to get up and down for birdie. Just doesn't flip it as much as he wanted to, or maybe was off his line a little bit. I'm on this side hill here, so I'm trying to throw a flex shot with my Rock X3. Put it kind of down below the basket and skip it up there, but I just released it a little bit left. I'll still have a putt for the birdie though. Here's Santi's birdie look. Just misses it a little high and left. Diego's birdie look. Ooh, just misses that one. And my birdie look should be a tap in, but I miss it high and go way down there rolling. So here's my par look. Ooh, long putt for par. Good save there. Santi decides he doesn't want me to be the only one with a long comebacker, so he sets his long and hits a long comebacker as well, so good putt there.
Hole 8 here, we're still on the lakeside. Hole 8, we're doing Golden State layout. So here we'll be playing to hole 18's basket. So where that trash can and the tree right next to it, that's a mando. So you want to throw a big hyzer and then you can just get an upshot, tap and bird.
Alright, so the intention of this shot was throw straight through the gap on pretty much a flat line, maybe a little bit of hyzer, and just push straight and land past that tree. Just give myself a short little upshot, but I pull it and land way down the hill, so I'm going to have a long upshot. Santi throws the shot exactly how I just described it. Little hyzer flip down the middle, lands on that flat ground, and we'll have a pretty easy upshot. So I thought it was going to be a shorter shot to the basket, so I throw an MD3, and turned out it was a little bit further than I thought, so I come up a bit short. Diego's throwing for his third shot because he actually missed the mando left, and Santi is throwing his second shot to get up and down for the birdie. Here's my third. I just have a long jump putt to get up and down for the par. Should be a tap in. Santi's birdie putt goes a little bit high. He mentioned to us that he hadn't played in about a month or so. So, you know, everyone knows putting is the thing that you lose the most when you don't play for a while. So that's why his putting's a little bit off this round. He gets his 5, and me and Diego tap in our 4s.
All right, hole 9 here. It's normal hole 1 of the backside layout, just a par 3, I think 350 feet or so downhill, OB, gutter, and beyond.
So one thing to note for this round is that all the tee pads were super slippery because it had been raining the previous days and was super foggy in the morning, as you saw earlier in the round. So I try to throw a straight MD3, but it ends up slipping and just comes out a little bit early. Looks like Diego slipped a little bit too and just kind of pulled his, and Santi just throws a hyzer flip but doesn't get it to flip over all the way. Diego's birdie putt comes up a little bit short. I have a weird straddle, so mine comes up a little bit short and left as well. And Santi, good run at it, but also a little short and left. So we're all going to be hopefully tapping in our pars. Let's see here. Yep. Par for Santi, par for Diego. And I tap in mine as well.
10 guys, Golden State layout. Hole 2 is just regular, just right up the gut. You want to push something straight, or you can just hyzer and get a pretty big skip.
So I'm going with the hyzer line here, but as you can see, the tee pad is lined up very right. So I kind of try to take a more inside line with my run up, and I just go a little bit too low, but I think it does skip for a putt. Diego just put his a little bit too low as well, and Santi's just didn't flip up the way he wanted to. So yeah, I do have an outside look at it. Ooh, just missed it, barely low. Here's Diego's look, probably a 40-footer or so. Just off to the right a little bit, and Santi has a long look from down the hill a little bit. And just comes up a little bit short. We all tap in our pars here.
Hole 11 on Golden State layout. It's just normal hole 3 on the backside. It's a 308-foot par 3. Just kind of a straight shot or a big forehand around the trees, and kind of slopes right to left.
What I'm trying to do here is play it out wide and just let it fade back into the hill. But I just put it way too inside, so it gets caught up in that tree. I'll have a long look, but not great for this hole. Diego tries to put his wide, just puts it inside as well, but he gets through a little bit more than mine does. And Santi does pretty much the same thing, but gets through a little bit more and kind of fades way down the hill by those trees at the bottom there. Here's my look. Try to give it a soft run, just come up a little bit short. Santi's long look up the hill. Ooh, nice putt there. Long uphill putt. And Diego hits a nice putt too. So those are good twos, good putts there.
Hole 12 now. Hole 4 backside regular. So what you want to do is be on the left side the whole time. And it's in the middle position out there.
Alright, so what's normally hole 4 on the backside, I mean, now that those 2 trees that were there by these other 2 trees, there were 4, now that's only 2, so now that those are gone, you should be able to just play a hyzer and give yourself a relatively easy upshot. Diego throws a decent shot, gets caught up in the trees, but gets through, and Santi throws a really good shot. I try to throw mine flat and just end up releasing it on anhyzer and pulling it off to the right, so I'm at the drop zone.
That looks so good, bro. Move.
Fly.
Throw a really good drop zone shot there. I think it's like 330, 340 or so. Just throw a big forehand with my rive and end up sticking it right by the basket. So I was hyped on that shot. And Diego copies my line, throws a good shot there though with his harp. And Santi throws a good shot with his putter. Oh, just a little short on the putt.
We are on hole 13 now. We'll be playing to hole 6's normal basket. It's par 4, anything to the right side's OB. So you just want to get it out to the field and then just a good upshot towards the basket.
This is a fun hole. You have a few different lines that you could take. Diego goes for the inside hyzer flip line. Punches it way up there by the normal basket. Should have a pretty easy upshot. Santi goes for the wide line and hits it well, gets outside of that tree, skips up right by the basket as well.
Perfect, Santi.
And I'm trying to play a roller. Actually, I am trying to go outside that tree and just cut it left. Pretty much exactly the way I did it, just if anything a little bit more cut to get more left. But I mean, that's fine where I am there.
You gotta wing it from there.
So Santi has a little upshot, just releases it a little bit low.
Yep.
Great camera work by me there. So he'll have a long putt. I have a low ceiling shot here, just throwing the NV. I come up just a little bit short so it hits that wet grass, and I'll have a longer putt than I wanted to. And Diego gets the right action on that, so skips right up to the basket.
Get in.
Just hit the band there, so I'm going to be tapping in my par. Santi's going to be tapping in his par, and Diego's going to be getting his birdie on this one.
All right, this is hole 14 of Golden State. We're throwing off 7's tee pad, and we're going to hole 9's basket up there in the back. So you kind of want to punch something through the
way
middle,
over there,
and then just give yourself a creative upshot.
This is another fun par 4 here. Like I said, you really want to just punch something through the gap and give yourself some sort of upshot. It's either going to be a forehand through the left side, backhand hyzer through the right side, just depending on what you are, you'll have some sort of window. Santi and Diego both throw good upshots, end up left, so they're probably going to have forehand upshots. I throw mine a little bit too high, but I get sneaky through the limbs up top there, so I'll have an upshot as well. Just throw a little hyzer with the envy and skip up there for a putt. Like I said, Diego throws a forehand, hits some of the tree branches early. He will have a putt though. Santi's comes up a little bit early, but he'll have a fun putt through that arc. Ooh, nice putt there. Got the birdie. I get the birdie as well. And Diego gets the birdie too.
We're tee pad's a little bit further back from hole 10's regular tee pad. We'll be playing to hole, which hole, bro?
11.
11's basket. So it's off to the right, Mando hole, and you want to be on the left side.
Alright, so this one for the normal Golden State layout plays to the back left corner. However, most of the baskets are in the short positions, so we are shooting to the next hole's shorter position, which is off to the right a little bit. Diego throws a nice forehand there, kind of just playing to the center of the right side of the fairway, and Santi throws his shot, just barely trickles out of bounds, so he'll have the opportunity to get up and down for par, and mine is fading out left a little bit, but does stay in there just barely at the end. So I'll have my up and down here for birdie. Just looking to play it off to the right and get a little skip left. However, I throw it a little bit too low, and it just comes up a little bit too short. So Santi's trying to throw a hyzer here and skip it up there as well. He will have a putt for his par, but probably 30 feet or so. Diego throws a nice shot with the harp, giving it a little bit more air, so pushes up a little bit closer to the basket. Here's mine for birdie. Just come up a little bit too short. That's OB right behind it, so you have to be somewhat cautious on your putt. Santi sends it over again, so he'll have a comebacker for, I think, the 6th. Diego hits his birdie putt, and that's me tapping in my par.
Hole 16 now, guys. There's a double Mando. It's a par 3. It's only 300 feet, so time to birdie it.
Good old double Mando hole. This is in the par 3 position, so you just want to push something up there, kind of straighter. Maybe get a skip straight or a little bit left is fine. You'll be inside the circle like Diego does. I throw mine a little bit low, but like I said, just push it straight, and I do get a skip, so I'll have a putt as well. And then Santi here throws his low, nice and straight. Looks like it flips over a little bit too much, so I don't know if it'll get as big of a skip, but we'll all have putts for birdie. Here's mine first. Just barely off to the right. I'll be having a putt for par. Santi hits a nice putt for birdie there. Diego from about 28 feet or so also hits a nice putt for the birdie there. And I'll be tapping in my par here as well.
All right, hole 17. We're teeing off in the back behind normal hole 13's tee pad. Teeing off, there's a Mando on that first hole. You want to go to the left of it. And then left side of the fence is OB, so you want to just put your drive somewhere in the middle, and then you'll have another 300-foot shot or so to the basket.
So what you really want to do on this hole is punch something a little bit lower than what Diego does and straight. It is a Mando left of the first pole, like I said, but you want to just punch something straight so that way your disc does not skip and hit the fence at the end of the flight, because we all do hit the fence, but luckily enough we don't roll. But almost every time I see a disc hit the fence there, it usually does end up rolling to the right to the street, because it is on a pretty big downslope from left to right. So we all keep it probably a little bit too inside than you want, but they all work out, so no harm, no foul there. Santi has a little upshot. I think he comes up a little short, but we'll have a putt. I have a pretty standard upshot as well, just trying to throw a little hyzer. Pull it a little bit right. I was trying to throw it more at the tree and let it fade out right in front of it, but I pull it to the right side of it, so I'll have a long putt. And I think the wind was blowing left to right as well, so it didn't really let the discs fade back like we wanted. Ooh, Santi almost hits a long putt there. Diego does hit a nice putt there, and I'll have a long uphill putt. Yeah, it just comes up a little bit short and left, so pars for me and Santi, and birdie for Diego.
All right, hole 18, Golden State layout here. We're teeing off from normal hole 14's tee pad, shooting through this little gap. It's a right, Mando right of this fence. And then you can see through the fence, there's a light pole out there with pink Mando tape. You gotta go left of that. So it's a straight shot through here, then another shot into the open out there. And then it's a par 5, so the third shot up the hill into the double Mando, which is normally hole 18.
This is a pretty awesome finishing hole for the Golden State layout. You have a Mando to the right of this fence, so you can't throw a big anhyzer, and then you have a Mando to the left of the pole in the back, so that's why we're cutting it so tight. And then you have a big shot into this open field, and then for the final shot, a double Mando. A few hundred feet to maybe 200 feet up the hill, so it can cause for a lot of score separation, and I think you can either win or lose a tournament just on this hole. So great finishing hole. We all put our shots in play. Diego and Santi throw good shots out there, I think just past the path. I'm pinched right up on this tree, so I'm trying to throw a forehand roller. I get it down a little bit too flat, so it takes a big bounce and just goes to the left, but I will have a shot. Diego ends up down here on the bottom, almost OB by the gutter, but throws a really good forehand to get by the basket. I'm going to have a long straight shot, but I do hit the double Mandos nice with my nuke. Push it straight for a while, fades back. I'll have a birdie putt as well. And Santi has a pretty short shot, throws his jawbreaker zone on a flip up, ends up turning over just a little bit too much at the end of the flight, but he'll have a putt. Comes up a little bit short for the birdie. He'll have a tap in par. Here's my birdie putt. Just a little bit off to the right, so I missed that. I'm going to be taking a par, and Diego gets another birdie. So great round from Diego. Me and Santi had okay rounds, but it was a great time playing with them. Some final scores here. Diego shot 6 down. I shot 1 down. And Santi shot 1 over. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next one.